Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. SPC 209 Interpersonal Communications. I'm coming to you live on tape from my COVID-19 compound in the greater Grovetown, Georgia metro area, the Aiken Tech Outpost in Columbia County, Georgia. I am Victor McInnes. I am your SPC 209 instructor, and today's message is brought to you by coffee. Let's all say I'm drinking coffee. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to be doing an introduction to SPC 209. I'm just going to kind of walk through who I am, some stuff about the course, stuff about your textbook, a whole bunch of other things. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to flip over here to my slides. Again, welcome to Interpersonal Communication. There's my name, Victor McInnes, and my email address. That email address is going to be incredibly important to you as this semester goes along because that's going to be your primary means of contacting me. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about myself, first of all. I was born and raised in a little town in Alabama called Homewood, just south of Birmingham. Not all that different than Aiken, about the same size, about 36,000 people. I went to Auburn University. I graduated with a Bachelor of Liberal Arts degree with a major in communications and a minor in history and political science, which qualified me to make fries at the Burger King. So after graduating from college, I enlisted in the United States Army. I spent 6 years in the Army. Specifically in Army intelligence. I was a interrogator, intelligence analyst, counterintelligence agent. Then I went back took my GI Bill, went back to Auburn, went to graduate school where I got a master's degree in communications and international relations. I then went to work for the National Security Agency. I can tell you my job titles. I was an intelligence analyst, a polygraph examiner, and a counterintelligence investigator, a senior staff officer. I spent 22 years with the National Security Agency, and above and beyond that, I can't tell you a whole lot about what I did. But then in 2010, I worked for United States Central Command, which is the military command located down in Tampa, Florida, that's responsible for military operations throughout the Middle East. In 2015, I retired from after 30 years of federal service, and when my wife's job moved up here to Fort Gordon, I moved up here with her. And went to work at the U.S. Army Cyber Center, the U.S. Army Cyber Command. About 2 years ago, I became a full-time employee of Aiken Technical College teaching SPC 205, Public Speaking, SPC 209, Interpersonal Communications, and when they can't find a government instructor, I teach PSC 201, American Government. During that time, I had the great opportunities to live in places like Monterey, California. I spent 18 months there when I was in the Army. I spent 10 years in Maryland. I spent 3 years out in Texas, 9 years down in Florida. Excuse me, but I also we were stationed in North Yorkshire, England for 5 years. I also spent about 18 months total in one deployment to Iraq and 2 deployments to Afghanistan. And I also got to spend some time in Bahrain and Qatar. As far as my teaching background is concerned, I taught at Auburn University. I taught at the University of Maryland. I taught for the National Security Agency's National Cryptologic School. I taught for the Defense Intelligence Agency at their Joint Regional Intelligence Training Centers. And then I taught at U.S. Central Command as well. I've also certified to teach at the U.S. Army Special Warfare Center. And then I also taught at the U.S. Army Cyber Center of Excellence. So in various shapes and forms, I have been teaching public speaking, oral communication, briefing skills, written, some form of communication classes since 1986. And one of the great things about teaching this class online is I do not have to look at your faces when I say I've been doing this for 34 years. Because now I'm having people look at me and go, my dad's not that old. And really, I don't need that. So we'll just move along. Here's my contact information. Again, my preferred method of contact with you guys is my ATC email. I check that every working day, Monday through Friday, guaranteed, multiple times a day. I do occasionally check it on Saturday and Sunday, but I won't guarantee that, okay? There's my office, but that will do you no good since, as you guys know, you guys signed up for an online course, so you really weren't impacted when we were told to get off campus back on the 16th of March. But my office is there. I probably will not be there this semester, but at least you know where it is. I will be conducting office hours virtually through Zoom twice a week. I will get you the times hopefully later on this week. I will have 2 hours set up for my SPC 205 classes, and 2 hours at least for the first couple of weeks until we see how much we need. And then I'll have some more times, and then we may modify that and go to once a week, or if we need to, 3 times a week. We'll adjust that Zoom schedule as needed. Feel free to email me at any time. Like I said, if you email me and it's a working day the next day, I will get you a response in 24 hours. If you email me late on a Friday, there's a probability I won't look at it again until Monday, but I will get back with you the next work business day, guaranteed. And all communications, formal communications for the classes will be handled through Blackboard announcements, okay? If you aren't getting, I've already sent out one. I will be sending out an email on Blackboard announcements. I think I've already sent out one. If you haven't gotten that, you need to make sure that your email is there because I will be firing stuff out on Blackboard fairly rarely. I'm not going to flood your email accounts, but you do need to be aware of it, okay? All right, our goals for this class, the ATC mission you should know already, but let me really hit the part I focus on. We're a public, open door, 2-year comprehensive institution, okay? That allows everyone to come in. You're going to hear a lot about inclusivity today. I put a lot of stock in inclusivity, and we're going to focus on that today more than anything else. The course description, wow, that is the wrong slide for the wrong class. This course is an introduction to interpersonal communications with application in working environments. My goal is to make you a confident, the goal is the same, to make you a confident and effective communicators and to be aware of interpersonal communications, okay? All right, your textbook. Now, this link you probably aren't going to be able to click on, but I put it on there for one reason. Your textbook is online. You do not have to buy a textbook, so this is the link. If you read the syllabus or in the syllabus addendum, you will find this link in there, and you will be able to go directly to your textbook. Do not think because I am not making you buy a textbook, the textbook is unimportant. You're going to find when it comes to the final, if you haven't read the textbook and read it quite closely, you're going to have a lot of problems with the final, and we're going to see how that's going to impact your grades in just a second. Okay, here's some class rules. All right. Attendance will be maintained through participation in weekly discussion boards. You have to show up and put input into the discussion boards. Not only is that going to be a key part of your grade, or to be honest with you, a vast majority of your grade, but it's also going to be the way I keep attendance. Input for those discussion boards, and we'll go over the discussion boards with plenty of time so you don't have to worry about it. Your input to the discussion boards are due by Friday at 8 a.m. every week. They will be every week. Late posts will not receive any credit. If you post at 8:04, I'm not guaranteeing you I will give you credit for that. It depends on how the course is going, depends on how I'm trying to get through the whole rest of the semester is going. But you need to be posted, and if you have to do it, think about it like taking out your garbage cans. They pick your garbage up on Tuesday, garbage night is Monday night. Inputs due, discussion board inputs due on Friday at 8 a.m. You have it done by Thursday night before you go to bed. Don't think you're going to wake up at 6:45 and get it done the next morning. Late posts will receive no credit, as I just said. Failure to post in 3 discussion boards will result in you being withdrawn. I promise you, if you do not input on 4 discussion boards, I am going to withdraw you from the class, and there will be no conversation about it. Okay? That is the direction I get from the president, the registrar, the head of the general education department, and my department chair. You do not contribute 4 times to a discussion board, and I will have to withdraw you from the class. 5 times last semester, between I had 6 sections last semester in 3 different courses. 5 times I withdrew people in the last 2 weeks of the course because they met that criteria, especially in SPC 209. Do not put yourself in a position where in the first 4 weeks you've missed 2 or 3 classes. Okay? Just don't do it. Do the discussion boards. They're simple. We're going to discuss them a little bit later. It will be too easy for you to do. Okay? If an excused absence causes you not to be able to post by the deadline, I will allow extra time, but those excuses must be coordinated with me in advance. I have a real problem with people coming in after the fact and say, hey, listen, Friday at 8 o'clock, they send me an email Friday at 4:30 in the afternoon and say, hey, listen, I had to work late last night. I didn't get my input due. Can I do it now? And I have to respond to them, no, you cannot. You should have sent me an email last night. So when I got up and before I started grading, I could have taken that into account. Okay? Had one at the end of the semester that said, hey, look, I didn't post in chapter 3. Can I do that now? That was 11 weeks later. I am not. I can't do that because right now, this semester especially, I've got 4 sections of SPC 205 and SPC 209 that are all online, and everybody's maintaining our attendance through posting on discussion boards. If you are going to be late in posting on your discussion boards, you have to send me an email in advance, okay? Or I can't consider it. I know that everyone is undergoing a lot of stress and turmoil in their lives right now. It's too simple to spend a minute and a half sending me an email that says, hey, a family member got sick, I'm at the hospital, can I get an extension on tomorrow's discussion boards? And the answer will almost always, unless I feel you're abusing the system, yes. And even if I feel you're abusing the system, all you're going to have to do is give me some sort of documentation that you're not able to post. Okay? I will work with you on that. Okay. Form of communications for the class will be handled through Blackboard announcements. If you're not familiar with Blackboard, go online. There are a ton of tutorials from every college in the world that uses Blackboard that will help you through it all. Okay, let's talk about inclusivity. If you read the syllabus addendum, you're going to find the ATC's infringement of rights of others. Okay? I will give you as much freedom as possible within the academic environment to take topics to just have a free and open discussion on those discussion boards. But as it says, topics that are patently offensive or would result in the disruption of the class will not be allowed. Language that will be interpreted as discriminatory based on race, gender, disability, sexual orientation, religious belief, and age will not be tolerated in any form. Period, close quotes, end of sentence. Profane or obscene language will not be tolerated. Now, I had a student 2 semesters ago type the F word in a couple of his posts, and I gave him zeros on those. And finally, he came back and said, that's just the way I talk. And I said, well, number one, you're not talking, you're typing. So your argument just fell apart, okay? Do not do that. It's the student's responsibility to be aware of the offensive nature of any language they use in class. So if you come back to me and say, well, I didn't know that was an offensive word, I'm going to go, I don't care, okay? Violation of this policy during a speaking event or an event will result in an immediate assignment of 0. And violation of the policy could result in your being withdrawn from the class. Okay? It's not acceptable that any member of my class will be made to feel excluded from the opportunities provided by Aiken Tech in association with any of the following issues: race, religion, or creed, national origin or ancestry, sexual or gender orientation, age, physical or mental disabilities, veteran status, genetic information, and citizenship. Those are issues that are covered under federal equal opportunity legislation that we have to follow. Okay, here's your grades, is what everybody cares about. Your discussion board inputs are going to be 70% of your grades. Okay? Flat out, if you do good on your discussion boards and you mind it every week and pay attention to it every week, you are guaranteed a C in this class, even if you get a 0 on the final. I want you to look at it like that. I have students all the time that say they found the discussion boards boring, they found it tedious, but they did it every week so that when they rolled into that final, they knew all they had to get was 15 points and they got a B. It's that simple. Okay? Your final exam is going to be 150 points. Your final exam will be administered through Blackboard, so please be comfortable with Blackboard before the end of the semester. Okay? A couple of reminders. I will make all reasonable accommodations for persons with documented disabilities. Okay? If you have a statement of accommodation from Rich Weldon, our advisor for students with disabilities, I need you to email me a copy of that. Okay? Because if you need extra time for testing, whatever you need, I need to have a copy of that in my files, or we can't do anything with it. Okay? Students who miss 3 discussions will subject to being withdrawn. I understand things are up in the air a lot. I will give you some flexibility this semester, but if you miss 4 discussions, you're getting withdrawn from the course. You're already down to a 75. You've already missed 25 per point. If you miss 4, you've already missed 100 points out of 500. You're down to an 80 at best. If you miss 4 discussion boards, I will withdraw you from the course and I will not have a conversation with you about it. Okay? If you're going to have any problems in class, you need to let me know as soon as possible. Okay? Your first assignment is to post a short biographical sketch on the Blackboard discussion boards. Okay? Now, let me get off the slides and get back to the camera. That's going to be easier said than done. Oh, there I am. Okay, cool. All right, so listen, here's what you need to remember for the discussion boards. It's going to be real simple, very easy to do. You need to post a new thread in the discussion board, and it needs to be 2 to 3 full paragraphs. Okay, I don't want to see no 3-sentence paragraph and the whole thing total 9 sentences and say, hey, it's 3 paragraphs. It's 3 full paragraphs. I have resisted what a lot of other teachers of online courses say I should do, which is give you a word count. I am not going to do that. At this point in your careers, you should be able to write 3 full paragraphs without being told what that means. Okay? That will be worth 10 points. If you do not give me 2 or 3 full paragraphs, you can get partial credit for that. You can get a 5 or a 10, and if it's really bad enough, I will give you a 0 out of 10 for that. Okay? So that's 10 of your 25 points, 3 full paragraphs. You will then make follow-up comments on 3 other students. Okay? 3 other students, full paragraph. If you go in there and those will be worth 5 points each. If you go in there and your follow-up comment is yeah, I agree, exclamation point, smiley face, you will get 0 points out of 5. Okay? That's just a simple statement of fact. And when you go in and check your scores on Blackboard, you will see I will use a quick comment on your grade. If you get less than 25, I will tell you in those quick comments why. Okay, usually it says more details needed in initial comment, 2 follow-on comments too short, you got a 10 out of 25. Okay? You will need to do that every week. I will post this in the announcement and for the first discussion board. Okay? I need a short 3-paragraph, nice full paragraphs introducing yourself to the rest of the class. I'm not going to give you any more direction than that. Say whatever you want to about yourself. This is going to be the way. You're going to have a lot of interactions, even though we may not see each other face to face ever. Okay? You're going to have a lot of interaction with these people. They're going to be commenting on your comments, and you're going to be commenting on theirs. There's going to be a lot of give and take in this. And you need to be aware of that. And you need to engage these people and start talking to them. And this is going to be your way of introducing yourself. Okay? That's due by Friday at 8 o'clock. Now, you're saying, I'm not getting the whole time to do it. You're writing a biographical sketch. You don't have to do a lot of research. Okay? You have until Friday, the 15th of May at 8 o'clock to get that posted. I have to do that because I have to have you do something this week so I can take attendance. Okay? The next Friday, you will be writing something up from Chapter 1. I will post the lecture for Chapter 1 this coming Friday. Lectures will drop on Friday. Your discussion board input will need to be done by the next Friday morning. Then Friday afternoon, I will drop the next lecture. Now, this semester, because it's a summer semester, runs a couple of weeks short. I think we've only got, I'm not sure how many weeks we've got, but I think we're going to have to combine a couple. And you're going to get 2 lectures in 1 week sometimes. Okay. Let me just say this. You're going to notice some of the lectures were done in 2019, in fall semester 2019. My intention was because any good professor, and I obviously I'm one of those, any good professor should go back and review their materials all the time. I have gone back during the spring semester. I looked at some of those lectures. Some of them I would modify, some of them I would add to, some of them I would take away from. You're going to see that I've already combined 2 whole chapters together. I think it's 9 and 11, and I think I just skipped over. I just dropped the lecture on chapter 12. And so I did it, and I was going to go back in this summer since my class load's a little bit lighter than normal, and reshoot all those lectures in my classroom. Well, that ain't gonna happen. So what I'll be doing is you're gonna watch the lectures, and occasionally I will have already watched the lectures and made notes. So occasionally you will see me post the link to the lecture, and then follow up from the COVID-19 compound here with some follow-on comments. Okay, it'll be very simple, very easy. It'll all be very organic. I'll just post, hey, watch the lecture, and then follow on with this link here. Okay? All right. So let's sum up and hit the important parts one more time. Number one, email me if you have any question whatsoever. Watch Blackboard announcements. Do not miss 4 classes. Okay? Do 2 or 3. That would be 2 or 3 full paragraphs for your initial input, and give me another full paragraph 3 times for your follow-ups. So really, if you can write 6 full paragraphs a week, you're guaranteed to get a 70 out of this course. You'll get a passing grade. I can't make this any easier. Okay? All right. So, finally, as we hear in every other commercial that comes on now, we're living in uncertain times. Okay, I get it. Everybody, I never imagined when they said on the 16th of March, we're closing classes and we're shifting everything to online. I never imagined that we'd be here. I knew we weren't going to make it through spring semester. I didn't know we'd be going all the way through fall, and then some colleges are even discussing whether or not fall is going to be on campus. I don't think anybody envisioned that. A lot of you guys are working retail jobs, in grocery stores and gas stations, and doing your jobs every day. You're not getting to do your jobs from your homes. God bless every one of you guys. I really am impressed with the bravery and dignity and tenacity that people are showing every single day at work. I give you full credit for that. A lot of you guys are nursing students. You're already working as nurses' aides. You're working as practical nurses. You're working as nursing techs. You're working in the medical field, and you're dealing with the results of this pandemic every single day of the week. Had a student last semester whose mother and aunt are both working in the COVID-19 ward up at Aiken Regional. Again, I am here to support you guys in any way I can. I can't do it if you don't talk to me, though. Okay? If you don't send me an email, talk to me about what's going on and why it's pressing on you so much. I can't help a whole lot. Okay? So the key factor here in these unusual times that we're living in is for you to maintain communication with me. Okay? You do that, you're going to be good to go. And you're going to get a great score, and you're going to learn a lot. That's the key thing as well. You're going to learn a lot from this class. Okay. McInnis, McInnis, V, as in Victor, McInnis V at atc.edu. Don't call my office number. I'm not checking the emails there hardly ever, and I'm not giving out my cell phone number. Did that once, never doing it again. Just stay in communication with me. You'll see some stuff, a couple of announcements probably coming up this week. Your first Blackboard discussion input will be due Friday the 15th by 8 a.m. And let's get that knocked out and start off on a good foot. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I don't have anything else, and certainly you can't have anything else at this point. So I will tell you, stay safe, stay well, and we will be in touch.